Question for you today. Are you content with the content of your life? Contentment is the ability to look at all the content of your life and say, it's enough. But perhaps you're like me, and it's not always easy to say that. Perhaps you're like me, and contentment is something that doesn't come naturally, but has to be learned. Well, there's good news for you today. Even the Apostle Paul had to learn contentment. Paul writes in Philippians 4:12 and 13, I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. So Paul says what we might expect him to say. I had to learn to be content when hungry, when in want. But what we don't expect him to say is that he had to learn to be content when he was well-fed and when he was living in plenty. It's like Paul is saying that a person could have plenty and still not be content. It's like Paul is saying that having more content in your life doesn't necessarily make you more content in your life. So then, Paul, what is the secret? Verse 13, he says, I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. Paul learned that the secret to contentment wasn't more content in his life, it was more Christ in his life, regardless of his circumstances. By the way, he wrote this from prison. He was able to be content because he had Christ. So, as you're watching this video, I don't know what your circumstances look like today, but I do know this: whatever you're going through, Jesus is sufficient to get you through it. He is enough for us.